Okay, into season 4 we go, and we've got some big transfers to show you. All to fit into this tactic, which turns into a 2-2-6, but more of that later. Like we said we were gonna, we raided Sporting CP's B team and picked up Marco Cruz, who's going to be a fantastic player in midfield or wingback, João Asensio and Rodrigo Marquez. South America for a new backup striker in Carway from RB, and potentially the signing of the summer, Elvis Balde. He's going to play down the right wing. Yet again, 0 spent, but if you look above my head, there's some traumatic news. That's right, day one at Jean-Pierre Zapata. He's left us. He's gone to Amadora, who have triggered his release clause. They paid $120,000 for him. That's the biggest fee we've received yet. So what it does mean is it does help us a little bit in the £1 billion mission, but it's going to hurt us a bit in the quest to get up the leagues as well. Gutted with that one. We've acted quickly and got 2 players to replace him. One of them is Miro. Not that one, this one. This is Miro. He's 23-year-old. For an all-round striker, he's probably better than Zapata. He's probably better. He's bigger. He's better in the air. He's quicker. He's only on loan from Boa Vista, but for a season. So we toyed with this at the end of the last season, the 4-3-3. Should we use it? Well, we've used it. We're about 5 or 6 games into the season when we've gone with it, and it's working really well. Balde down this side, Can down this side, 2 pacey wingers, striker up front, Miro, who's started really well, and then attacking midfield 3 with these 2 jumping in here, creating the cover so they can bomb on. Lovely stuff. We find ourselves in a familiar position of top of the pre-group, which means nothing to us because that's what we always do. But I've seen signs that we're looking better. We're not conceding many, we're scoring just as many. I like the way this tactic's looking. It's going to be available for patrons now. If you're in the Patreon, you've got it in your homepage. I was asked about this on another video. Have you had any job offers yet? Because you've done reasonably well. Thanks for that comment. And we have. The first one that came in was Santa Clara, but the recent one is here. Estoril Playa have offered us a job interview. And if you look at these guys, these are a top division team. So if I was doing a traditional save, I might be tempted by that, but I'm not leaving Salgueiros. There was also an offer from Aruca for a job interview as well. I'm really sorry if I've mispronounced that. And Arusa, they're also in the top division. So our stock is rising. Our squad is a bit light, especially in fullback areas. So what I'll really like to do, and this is a takeaway from this episode, is retrain defensive midfielders into inverted wing backs. For me, they are the perfect combination. Now, you can see his attributes are on the way down at the minute because I've just started to retrain him. So he's been used to be a defensive midfielder, but now he's going for a complete new position. If you look at his pitch map there, it's a tiny, what is going on here kind of shout, makeshift. We're going to work on that, and we're going to do that by retraining him and playing him in that position when we can. If you look at the training tab, for example, I've got him inverted wing back on defend, and instantly the attributes highlighted, you can see them, and look at them. He's a defensive midfielder, but they all work really well. He's not going to need acceleration and pace in that role because he's going to be sitting in the defensive midfield zone. Importantly, he's still good in the defensive areas such as his marking, his positioning, his decision and his concentration. I think he'll end up being a really good player. At the minute his attributes are on the way down because he's learning it, but we'll stick with it and we'll see what happens as the season progresses. It usually takes about a season to get it to be that bright green down here, so he's completely comfortable. So Hugo Morales is the starter in that position, but in games I think we're going to win and we're comfortable, I'm going to slot him in there so he can learn the role, or simply bring him on off the bench. Visiting the data hub, early stage of the season, we had a bit of worries about tackling, didn't we? Now, if you look at tackling now, we have moved our way up. So things are improving. Things are improving. We were way down here, but we are now on the way up. This is a good sign, especially when all the other metrics are pretty much where we want them to be. Yes, here we are. It's January, and guess what? Yet again, we've finished top of the first stage. We've lost 3 times this time, but I'm actually happier with the way the team's playing. We're not peaking too early. Different style of play. Very much like a lower league Wish.com version of Man City, I like to think. But we're winning, and it's into the playoffs now. That's been my team of choice. Do you know what? I haven't changed the formation once. You'll notice a lot of goals there were from Miro. Man, what a signing he's been. It's safe to say we haven't missed a pattern. Miro's come up now with 11 stats, 17 goals, with the pace of Balde on the right, who's electric, and the same goes for Tony Khan on the left. Miro's getting all sorts of goals and loads of headers, which is new this year. New kind of role for Volante this year is more of a chilled back, sit back role. He's more like a Rooney when he was at Man United and he dropped back into midfield in the later days. That's what Valente has done for us, linking things nicely. He has two runners either side of him in Cruz and Moreira. They do the legwork and he ends up sitting back. It says advanced playmaker, but you'll be surprised when these two come inside like this and sit into the defensive midfield zone. These two end up going up here and he kind of floats in between, just dictating traffic. It's beautiful. So the only big change we've done, and it's really helped, is if the opposition have a weak fullback, so they've got a weak fullback, say down the left side, what I'll do is I'll have a look at these two. At the minute they're on opposite sides, so Cruz is left-footed, but I like him on the right. But if they've got a weak right back, I'll move Cruz over there because he's completely left-footed to combine with Khan, and I'll change him into a Mazzala on attack, and we'll overload that side and try and punish them. That's worked really well when they've got weak fullbacks. When they don't and it's normal, we just play normal centre midfields on attack. So halfway through the playoff situation, things are going a lot better this time. Lots better. You can see we're second, we're in the automatics, and we've only conceded 7. This has been our bugbear. We keep conceding, but we've only conceded 7. Now, you might have recognised a scorer there who was a little bit of a blast from the past. Here's the team at the minute, same formation. You can see how well they're starting to play together, but there's a couple of additions that we got on transfer deadline day, and they are great ones. The first, he's back. He's back. Miguel Contanescu. Yeah, him. He's back. And do you know what? He was a free transfer. He was just lying around free. Got released by Vizela. You remember his amazing season he had with us? But since then, he had a bit of time in Portugal too. Released, came back to us. He's played 7 times, 2 goals, 2 assists. Completely free transfer. Wages pretty decent. Happy to have him back. He's been valuable. Now, how's about this? This is Craig Nelson. I've got him in on loan for free from Manchester City. Now, I won't often say this, but a centre-back as a game changer, well, he could be it. He could be it. He's a massively improved player from what we've got. He's only 19. He's going to take a little while to bed in, but he's 6'6". He's a ball-playing defender. I don't even know how we pulled this off. In fact, I'll tell you how I pulled it off. I just chanced it. I needed a centre-back. We had loads of injuries, and the other two weren't playing great. So I went over to Man City, and I thought, give us a little look at your B team. What have you got? I literally went into their under-21 squad and noticed who was on loan, and I just put a bid in for Craig Nelson. They didn't ask for anything. And unbelievably to me, not only did they accept, but he agreed. So that's meant this side here are actually really solid now. He's next to Roman Reigns Correa as a natural left footer, 6'6". I'll also shout our boy Vieira. He's a day one of Vieira. I had no hopes for him this season. Kind of disregarded him. I couldn't find a left back at the start of the season. He's now pretty much started every match 24 times and his average rating of 7.06. He's playing really well. I need his attributes to rise. I'm going to focus a bit of his training a bit, try and get him up a standard, but still. So that stunning run down there, 5 wins on the spin. Overall, great display in terms of defence this time. Means, crew, we've finally done it. There's a big P next to our name. We're promoted. What a time, what a time. They've finally done it. Do you know what? This formation has done the trick. I did not think it'd work. Trying to be aggressive but keep the ball, lower tempo. But it has, it's done really well. This man jumping into advanced playmaker because our boy Valente got himself an injury. He's covered in superbly well. Miro. What can I say? 24 appearances, 27 goals. We must get him next season. We must. Now, we do have one more match. It's against Varzim. Now, if you look at the league table, you guessed it, they are second. So if we draw or win, we will be champions for our first trophy, if you like. That match will be at the end of the episode. So stay tuned to that to see if we can do it. For now, we need to do our squad planning thing. The way we do that, we need to remember the attribute level for next season that we're going to be working at. So next season, we're going to be in the second division, one off the top tier. I'm going to be looking for key attributes in the range of 13 to 15. So for example, for a central midfielder, normally in the lower leagues, I'll just look for the free passing vision, work rate. Now, when we go up a bit more, I'm going to look for a little bit more range there between that 13 to 15. So better quality of player is needed. So as we always do at the end of the seasons, we'll have a look at the team and see who will be able to play in the division above. Now, I'm happy with the front three. Miro's not a certainty because he's not our player, but fingers crossed. In midfield, Cruz, great. Sambu's just filling in at the minute. So in his position will be Vasco Maria, and he will comfortably start. Same with Valente for... So the midfield five and the strikers, the five there, no problem at all. Now, at the back, Breno's 100% staying. I think he'll be our keeper for as long as we can keep him. Left back, I love Vieira, but the next stage is going to be too much for him, so we'll take him out. Right back, he's still learning the role. That's our defensive midfielder, so he'll be on the bench. Now, centre-backs are interesting because Nelson came into the club and he was class. He built into the role. He ended up with a 7.27 and definitely helped us get them clean sheets. But we won't be able to keep him next season, so he's going to need to be replaced. Possibly Correa as well. The minute we'll give him a chance. So 3 starters. And looking at the bench situation, I'm happy with about 7 of them. So I'd probably like another 5 or 6 on the bench. So we're looking at between 8 and 9 new players to get in if we can keep that man, Miro, as well. Tactically, I'll run with that for the first part of the season. We are going up a division, so there's going to be better teams. So we'll just weigh it up. We just need to survive next season. So we're going to start with that. Now, the other thing we need to do is tie some players down. For example, Breno, who I'm convinced is a top flight goalkeeper in the making. His contract runs out at the end of next season, but also in his contract details, you can see his minimum fee release clause is only 200,000. I need to ump that at least double to scare some teams off because he is elite. There's about 4 or 5 players like that we need to re-sign. Anyway, we'll think about that later. For now, it's time to go against Varzim and see if we can claim this title.